in African societies, marriage favors women more. And this is my reason, right? So, if marriage does not favor women more, men will be the one going to Shiloh with women's pictures. Let's begin from there. Now, look at it this way. You get married, and in fact, we are even still grappling with the idea of your money is our money and my money is my money. I think the conversation here is that men have accepted that this is the type of necessary loss that they have to do by getting married and providing for their partners. Because you have money, you work for money, you give the money to your wife and your children. And if you die tomorrow, the children are the ones that are going to take care of their mom. Even in most cases, on Twitter, we're having conversations that a lot of men are deadbeats, a lot of men are not around, they don't engage in their children's life. Reason being that the man is out there pursuing money while you are in the house, taking care of the family, taking care of the children, doing everything. So this is the wholesomeness you're talking about life. Because when you're talking about wholesomeness about life, meaning about life, it is getting into families, starting families.
Question. Using Nigeria or Africa as a context. We all went to secondary school, yeah? And we all had plans. A typical woman's plan is this. I graduate, if I don't get a job, I get married.
At the time, no.
No, let's be honest with ourselves. Let's be honest. That's why I said a typical woman. They see marriage as an option to a better life. Let's be honest with ourselves. That's why women marry up and they don't marry down. But for a typical guy, he sees marriage as just marriage. Let me get married to somebody for companionship, and that's why men in our settings can always marry down. In the Western society, marriage favors the woman. So when you get married in the Western society, as a man, you lose your rights almost completely. You're like walking on eggshell. Yes, you're walking on eggshell because you know.
I'm talking from experience here, okay? I can tell you categorically, 8+ years in marriage, what I want in my house, with the power of influence, respect, it happens. I get what Osas was saying. She's not wrong. I mean, when you want to group people, we always have exceptions, right? Yeah. Now, I'm talking about kind partners, emphasis on kind partners. You talked about HR. I'm sorry, I don't know the kind of organization you recruit for. What you're saying is not true. I worked in a multinational company for 8 solid years. Women are on top with children. So what you're saying is not true, baby. So, as long as, forget statistics, there are many there. As long as you know your onion, you will grow. Take it or leave it. Okay. It favors both men, it favors both women. Women use...
And I believe marriage favors men more than women. In Africa, please, let me say this. Because, number one, a man can actually misbehave the way he wants, and the family will be begging the woman to forgive the man. A man can cheat on you, they will come and beg the woman to stay. Where will you leave your children? Where will you go? If you leave, another woman will come inside. Even if the man is beating you, they will tell you to be patient and be praying for him. Meanwhile, if once a woman even disrespects a man, they'll go and call village meeting on that woman's head. Most of them won't tell the man to marry another woman so that the woman will calm down. So you cannot tell me in cases that women enjoy marriages in Africa. I'm saying Africa here. Because we Africans, we believe when a woman is suffering, that's when she's a good wife.
Just the way the women feel. I also want to come back to you. Sorry. You were telling us about being a resource person. If I ask you today, what is the percentage of the men you employ as compared to the women? Women are more prone to get jobs faster in Abuja than the men. Do you understand? Than the men. So when you are saying all of this, we should look at it holistically. It benefits the woman based on what you want in marriage, and it benefits the man based on what he wants in marriage.
Okay, thank you.
So let me start from the last part of women getting jobs in Abuja. As a career person, I would say categorically that the jobs that you think women get are most low-income paying jobs. The high-paying jobs also goes to the men. Forget the fact that we have been fighting this issue of equal rights for women. We still have a long way to go. The population of women in Abuja is still more than the men. So when you check the percentage of the employed ladies in high and good paying jobs, it's still very low. I tell you, a lot of women are either entrepreneurs. Just take a statistics of what just happened here when we were doing introduction. The ladies are here, most of them are self-employed. A lot of the ladies in this room are self-employed. Very few of them are employed. And when they are employed, how many are in high positions in the organization? That is all you and women are still fighting. Now, coming back to the question on ground, I once read somewhere where somebody said,
and the life that makes them feel like, okay, they are really living the life, like they are enjoying themselves. But women, when a woman is married, like, I'm talking about African women. Okay. Like there's this tendency, like our mothers have taught us loyalty. Okay. We have to be loyal to our husbands. And then you see when, in the case of when you hear a woman cheating, and a woman cheated on her husband, you see that there is more audience. Like people are more criticizing, like, okay, why would a woman do this? Why? But it doesn't happen with men. Even when you say it to men, you see people say it's a man now. Okay. Men are polygamous in nature.
Okay. Thank you.
Like,
Thank you.
I feel like this whole thing of women have limited time is what they is. It's just like a mental slavery. I think men are using that to just deceive the women. Let me use the word deceive the women, or let the women feel as if we can settle for less and we are the one at an advantage to benefit from this thing called marriage. Okay. Presently, I feel like now, although I didn't have that belief before, but I feel like now marriage, men benefit more from marriage, because right now I think so many ladies are even very okay going out with married men. Like they don't even really care. And then some married men are very, very comfortable to have a wife and then have a girlfriend, and then they are having this liberty of living a life that they want, and then let's say just two doubled life, the life that makes them feel responsible. And
this whole ideology of saying that men have it better in marriages is a fallacy, is a lie. Most men actually giving them, they won't even want to settle down. That's the truth. Wait, hold on. That's the truth. The truth of the matter is that women are the ones that actually have a limited time to actually have children. They desire it more than any other person. That's why women sponsor marriages. Hold on. A man can give birth to a child at 70. You understand? The time counts for somebody to settle down and have kids. It's actually more pressure on the woman. Okay. That's it basically. So you talk about that the benefit is social, like socially right now. Most time the man is the one bearing most of the burden.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think at every point in time when they say it's based on statistics, so when we say this happened, we're looking at what percentage. Because sometimes when we talk, some of us here will be shouting. It is because you know and you are here. But look at it in the larger society, people who don't have the privilege we have are more than what we who are here have. So you cannot just be shouting here because you think you're here. Look at the larger society. But for me, very importantly, let's face the question. Who is the benefit pass? So then the first question is this. If you feel is a man, why do you go into marriage? And if as a man you feel is a woman, they're not going to marriage. So the reason people come into marriage is because they want to be married. And if you both are married, then understand that you are both enjoying it together. Because at the point you cease to enjoy it, you go your separate ways. So the question of, because if you talk about children,
marriage certificate should be like driving license. When it expires, you choose to renew it or don't renew it. And I agree with that person, because marriage initially was supposed to favor both parties. And first of all, it favors the man, because take for instance, I'm married and I left my father's name and answered my husband's name. Some people don't even know my father's name because I married early. So they did never hear of my father's name at all. So who gained? The man gains, right? Then in the other part of it, I think that both parties, so I feel that both parties should enjoy marriage.
Okay, thank you.
Equality into the marriage. What happens is the women end up taking power in the relationship. So in Western societies where women have equal rights as men, you know, in marriages and relationships, men are ruined. Most of these marriages end up in divorce, and you know, it's, you know, really messy for these people. Like, I think, I can't remember, I don't really have the statistics, but it's a scenario where whoever has the most power benefits, you know, from the marriage. So in other words, in Western societies, women have the advantage. In traditional societies, men have the advantage. It's not a matter of who's good and who's bad. It's all a matter of power. Who's got the power sets the tune and determines who's got who benefits from the relationship. Yes. I will actually answer the question. And the answer is, it really depends on what we're talking about. So in traditional societies where men provide, men clearly have the advantage, right? So because he who pays the piper sets the tune. So because men have access to more resources, and because we live in patriarchal societies, in traditional societies, you know, men's excesses are more you know, taken better than women's excesses. So men do have the power in these societies. Now, in some other societies, egalitarian societies as they call them, whenever they try to solve this problem...
To answer the question, I won't say it favors women more or men more. I will say both parties. There's something my friend, I'm sure some of you know her, Tolani Diary of the Kitchen Lover, there's something she used to say: in whatever you do, marry a very kind partner. I'm not going to say man or woman. Marry a very kind partner, okay? Now, let me tell you something. I feel like women have the power to wheel over whatever you want. And that's what I noticed most women are not utilizing. You think the marriage does not fit?
Hello everybody.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put perspective into this from my profession. I'm in human resources, and a lot of my job is recruitment and stuff. So one thing I can tell you for free is, if a woman is married, especially as an entry-level professional, she has shot herself in the foot. I have worked with a lot of employers who will tell you, we don't want a married person for this role. They're 100%. So it happens, we don't want a married person, we don't want a pregnant person, we don't want somebody who has kids. So, and this is global, it's not even Nigeria. Globally, once a woman gets married, her profession takes a step, her career takes a lot of steps back. It never happens to a man. A lot of time, you hear people ask women, how do you juggle family and your career?